Well, look, when Knicks Sixers blow a 26-point lead, obviously blame goes all the way around. The only person that's going to escape wrath is Seth Curry. All right, good job, Seth Curry, with your 36 points. If it wasn't for that, who knows what would have happened. So he escapes blame. Doc Rivers, I mean, Doc might be the most popular guy in the NBA. Everybody loves Doc. But this is getting ridiculous. These playoff failures, and they haven't failed yet. We'll see if they win this series. But these playoff failures it's getting to the point where it's legendary. He's the only guy ever to drop more than one 3-1 lead and lose a series, and he's done it 3 times. And when you lose, when your roster is better, and no one disagrees that it is demonstrably better than the next man's, and yet you lose the series, it's your fault. And so let's see if Doc can escape this. But he's to blame for last night. Tobias Harris, 4 points. The defense, which has been stellar, and Nick's bragged about it all year, gives up 40 in the fourth quarter. All right, so there's a lot of blame to go around. But I'm going to go to a guy that might escape a lot of people's judgment today because his stat line, 37, 13 boards, 4 blocks, 5 assists. It was the Paul George stat line. And that's Joel Embiid. He is to blame, too. He was Shaq-like in the first half. I applauded him. I was on the radio watching. I applauded him on the radio for coming out after a bad half, a horrible half, and delivering. I loved him in the first half. In the fourth quarter, though, when the house was on fire, instead of being the father that settled the kids down and the wife down and got everybody safely out of the house, he grabbed his stuff and sprinted out the front door before anyone else could get out of there. All right, he scored 6 points on 1 of 5 shooting in the fourth quarter. And Joel Embiid, who has a phenomenal mid-range game, phenomenal. I've never seen a guy his size play the mid-range like he does. He passed up with about a minute and a half to go. Hawks up by 1, Philly down by 1. He passed up 2 10 to 12-foot jumpers on the same possession to pass the ball. He didn't want it.
Because he checked out.
And then with 10 seconds left, he misses 2 free throws, an 86% free throw shooter. He didn't want it. He didn't want it in the key moments. So he cannot escape blame.
Well, let me not go that far and say he checked out, but last year I absolutely ripped him in the bubble because of his terrible body language. Ben Simmons goes down, he's not there. Then you just saw the big dude just moping and pouting. And this whole discussion of Doc coming in, they're thinking about trading one of the big 2. Who are they going to trade? I said, man, you need to let go Ben Simmons because that right there, what you just saw in the bubble, you can't win with that. Shortened off season, and he took his game to a whole nother level on the court as a leader, and his entire game, what he did from 3 to mid-range, the post. I mean, Elijah won, KD all wrapped up in one. But for him to go back and with that type of behavior, he reverted back to that behavior is a problem. That's what you saw last night. But, I can kind of understand it and get it because it's like, Tobias Harris, where are you? We're paying you $30 million, and you're the first player since the merger to have multiple playoff games with fewer than 5 points. 5 points. I promise you right now, I'm not just saying this because I'm a player and, I'm retired. I don't have much to do. But I'll tell you right now, if I was in that game last night, I would have gave you 10. I'm telling you that. I would have hit 1 3. I would have hit a couple free throws. I would have got to the free throw line. I'm telling you. So if we got to blame somebody, we got to go with Tobias because you know what you're getting out of Ben Simmons on the offensive side. But Nick, can you please show a little love to Trae Young, please, because he was sensational. And my little baby son, we just flew into Noonan, Georgia, and Atlanta's, 20 miles south or whatever it is. And as soon as we landed, my son's like, Daddy, isn't this where Trae Young lives and plays? I said, absolutely. How do you know who Trae Young is? Everyone knows Trae Young now.
All right, you want me to show love to Trae Young? Trae Young was excellent last night. He's been excellent this postseason. It's the makings of a star in this league, but I want to focus on the other team. So here's the thing with Embiid. What I don't like is if if Embiid was out with the meniscus, nobody would kill him. Nobody would be like, oh, you got to play through it. He is fighting through an injury, and it is very clear that in the second half of these games, he's wearing out. The last 2 games, in the first half, he's 13 of 19. In the second half, he's 3 of 21. And so I hate when a guy almost gets punished for fighting through an injury that could clearly knock him out. So I am going to give Embiid a bit of a pass. I can't give Doc Rivers a pass. In the last 25 years, Doc Rivers, let me say it differently. Playoff leads of 15-plus points that turn into losses. No coach has more than 9, except for Doc, who's got 11, and he's got 2 in the last 2 games. The 18-point lead was unforgivable. The 24-point lead, I know people say 26, but it was 24 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And Broussard, here's the thing. I've seen this exact game happen before. This was 40-17 in the fourth. 40-15 in the fourth was Game 6, Rockets-Clippers. James Harden on the bench, towel over his head. Our season's over. Nope, that's Corey Brewer and Josh Smith's music. I've seen a 10-point lead blown to Oklahoma City in the final 3 minutes with the Clippers in a critical Game 5. I've seen T-Mac say, it's great to finally get to round 2. Nope, you're going to lose 3 straight. We saw last year. This is a huge problem. So I am, Wilds, going to pile on Doc here because fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 11 times, shame on everybody. And then there's the other elephant in the room, Wilds, which I'll let you take, which is the only, am I right on this? Yeah. The only guy in this game who was the #1 pick of a draft, the only guy in this game to win Rookie of the Year. Embiid didn't win Rookie of the Year, right? Because he was hurt. And that's Ben Simmons.
No, they wanted him to.
Yeah, it was weird. So what do you do with a point guard who not only can't shoot, refuses to shoot? 1 field goal attempt, Wilds, in the last 2 fourth quarters while the team is melting down.
So, if you've lost Nick Wright, you've lost America. Because Nick Wright was a big-time, still continues to be a big-time Ben Simmons defender. But that might have been the straw that broke Nick Wright's back. Because Broussard, earlier in this series, even Doc Rivers, when he was asked, hey, they're using the hack of Ben strategy. Would you think about taking him out? And he dressed down the reporter like, you want me to take him out the whole game? No, I think he's pretty good. Well, last night he had to take him out, changed his mind, took him out, and then the problem is Tobias Harris turns the ball over. So now you've lost your main ball handler. The guy missed 10 free throws. And as much as we want to blame Doc, Doc is not out there. Doc's not playing anymore. The fact that we've seen not only no improvement of his offensive game, I think we're headed in the wrong direction. We're going backwards to the point now that he's just giving you defense. Our researcher, Dusty, called him like a highly paid Andre Roberson. I like him. He said he was going to attack more after he played poorly in Game 4, and it didn't happen. What is your solution if you're talking to Ben Simmons?
No, I hear you. Dusty's right. He's becoming Andre Roberson with a handle and court vision. That's it. And it's just a different NBA now. You know, back in the 80s when they didn't shoot the 3 like this, he would have been fine. All right, he'd have been just as greater probably than he is today. But nowadays, you cannot survive with a guy that, as Nick said, just won't shoot. And it's no excuse. And Ben Simmons has got, if I'm Doc Rivers, and we can talk about, and Nick did a good job of chronicling Doc's failures in the playoffs and all that. But behind the scenes, and I don't have a problem with Doc defending Ben a week ago or whenever it was. He didn't have to go off on the reporters. In fact, he was wrong for going off on the reporters like that. However, I get him defending this guy publicly, right? But behind closed doors, ever since Doc got that job, he should have been working on Ben Simmons pressing on him the importance of being able to shoot and just taking the shots. And that he should have been doing that all year behind the scenes, and Ben Simmons still is afraid to take a 17-foot jump shot and clearly is terrified at the foul line. And so if I'm Doc Rivers, I mean, all you got to do in the offseason is work on this guy. He has got to shoot the jump shot. I don't know if he needs to go see a sports psychologist or something. Brandon obviously, knows all about the mental health. Maybe he has done it. I don't know. But something has got to give.
Yeah,
because in
there.
today's NBA, you just can't win with your primary ball handler being afraid to shoot. And you can barely win with a center that won't shoot jump shots. But to have a point guard that won't shoot jumpers and is horrible from the line, I wouldn't give up just yet, like trading this. I mean, if I got a great trade, if I could get Trae Young for him, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. But I'm just saying, they've got to work on his psyche.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.